Get out. Get out!
No. Now sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Now you're in the sunken place.
What's up, brownies? Once again, Tyrese Gibson is back in the headlines for everything other than his talent. This time, man-stroking Mexican men. I am going to read his post as he typed it in its entirety, straight from IG, and then I'll come back with the rest of my commentary. A post by Tyrese, read as written. Sometimes I wish I was born Latino. I mean, the Latin community is grounded in family, loyal entrepreneurs, businessmen, and women literally represent the dream, the grind, the hustle, doing whatever it takes to stick together against all odds. If us is Black culture was more grounded in these integral, magical nuances of us, we would be dominant. I've learned a lot from the Jewish community sticking together, eating dinner every Friday together. I've learned a lot about the Muslim community throughout all my travels in the Middle East. They have a father structure where they honor their fathers, the Middle East. The thinking in the mentality is that they would much rather have a son over a daughter because they know that there is nothing like the leadership of a father and the man being the head of the household. I have no idea how we lost our way. We can't get anything done and accomplished as a fragmented culture, insecure, threatened by each other, competitive towards our own race, killing ourselves every single day frivolously. The majority of us is Black men, and the millions are locked up in prison. Of course, we are beyond powerful, influential, and successful. But imagine if we all linked up like other communities have linked, poured and built up on each other instead of moving like fragmented and dysfunctional. We have what it takes to take over the world. We are nothing trying to do it alone. Again, what I read is what he typed. So after this, Tyrese made a follow-up post to let us know that it's okay that he did this because he made his original post 3 days before Black History Month started. Listen, for anybody that's getting ready to say, sis, you petty for reading that, he's petty for writing it. And then in this follow-up post, he said, now I'm going to remind y'all of what I said in my last paragraph. Is that how paragraphs are structured, sir? I mean, and then he didn't even bother to correct the grammatical errors. This is your unhinged male leadership. Is this your king? And mind you, all of this got started because he saw a video of some Mexican children gifting their Mexican father with a truck and the man crying over it. And this is what prompted all of this man-stroking the men of another community in the same way that they usually stroke and pedestalize the women of another community. And know this, every time you do that, you're actually complimenting the men of that community. When you put other women on a pedestal and try to downplay Black women, which this is where all of this leads to. And I'm going to prove it to you by playing you some throwback videos of another man that got on the internet several years ago, man-stroking Mexicans. Let's see if you remember this.
Say some shit to y'all that I seen yesterday that made me smile, but it hurt me to my heart. There's a house next door to me that's been abandoned, and the yard, the grass high as hell and everything. There's a couple of abandoned cars out there beside the house. Well, yesterday I get off work about 7 o'clock. A Mexican guy pulled up. He said, "These your cars?" I said, "No." He said, "I just bought this house, man." I said, "All right, that's what's up." He was like, "You know whose cars these is?" He said, "No." He said, "Well, I bought the house, not the cars." Okay, I'm like, cool. I'm thinking he just coming to look at the house. I go back in the house, do a little straighten up. I swear to God, I walk back at the house. Now I'm getting off about 7:20. It's fucking 9 Mexican trucks just pull up. They got fucking beer, lights, and shit, right? So I'm like, what y'all finna do? He said, we finna fix this house. I said, what kind of crew you got working after 7 o'clock? He said, these my friends. The fucking house is fixed this morning. They went in there and drywalled that fucking house. Wow. I just left out of there. It was a fucking abandoned house. That bitch looked new this morning. Woo. It was an abandoned fucking house. And it looked new this morning. It's an old African proverb. Many hands make light work. I just don't think they're better than us. I just think we won't do nothing together. Wow. You're not hearing what the fuck I'm saying. It was an abandoned house yesterday at 7:15. That bitch is new this morning. He bought a tax lien house. I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait to see, is one family gonna live in there? Is they gonna, I'm gonna get to know the motherfuckers. You best believe me, when I make some money, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bring us together. And I'm not fucking with a lot of people.
Okay, class. Does anybody want to point out the fatal flaw in his plan here? You remember Tyrese was saying how we just won't unify and we won't work together on anything and nobody can do it alone. This man just said that when he gets some money, which is the first problem, but we don't want to talk about broke boys, so let's move on. When I get some money, I'm going to do the same thing that they did. I'm going to unify us, and you best believe I'm not going to F with a lot of people. Wait a minute. So you going to unify us and then you going to cut yourself off from people. I'm sorry. Don't you need some friends to show up with beer and lights at 7 p.m.? This is why it's so laughable. You got a bunch of fake alpha males that's out here begging to be the leaders and the head of household. And you, first and foremost, ain't got no head of household money. And when you finally do get some money, the first thing that you do is separate yourself from black people in the black community because you want to sit high and look down low on the rest of these N-words because now you better than them. But then the money that you do have, you don't recycle those dollars back into black people in the black communities. You give it back to the people that took it from you or kept it from you in the first place. And the number one way that you all do this, first and foremost, is with who ends up in your bed. The problem is you, but don't take my word for it. Let's watch the follow-up, the part 2 video of the throwback Mexican man stroker.
What's up, fam? I'm about to make me a quick Rez the Ruler video. You remember the video I made about the Mexican house next door? And how they got it together. And one day, I cleared this with them. But check this out. When you put the energy out of the universe, it agrees with you. Remember I told you put those disagreeable forces, the disagreeable forces will respond. Now I'm going next door, and I needed to cook some macaroni for my Christmas gathering. Now I got one kitchen, and it ain't big enough. Watch this. This is my Mexican family next door. Like I said, I got this cleared. They leaves the door open for me to come in here and cook. You understand me? They left the door open. They gone. I don't know when they coming back. I'm in their house cooking, and they up macaroni. Oh, by the way, they did this in one day. Me. Cooking my macadocious. And they of it. Name of my organization is La Familia. So when I say one God, one people, love don't judge, period, but I'm right fist up, you dig? I mean it. In here, in the hella black, hella proud shirt, shout out to Ron Green, in the Mexican house, almost 4 million shares, views on Facebook, made it to World Star Hip Hop. I'm in the house by myself. Beautiful family. Come on, man. And asked her, could I make a video? She said, sure. My house is pretty. I love to show it off.
Okay, class. Anybody want to comment on this one? I'll go first. First and foremost, you are in a position of coming from the standpoint of lack. So you have to go and you have to borrow from your neighbors, right? Then you're saying that the woman is saying, sure, you can film. I have a nice house. I love to show it off. That house looks like our rental houses, our income properties. But what's nice and what's whatever, that's all relative. The point is, though, she has the house to show off. So if you want to know, I just don't know where we went wrong. Step 1, get you a wife. Step 2, buy her a house. Y'all skipping right over the basics of manhood and trying to come in and lord over women, and you're not even the protector, the provider, the breadwinner. Y'all got glorified roommates and wondering why she don't respect you as a leader. You ain't leading nothing. You ain't running nothing. Period. But remember what I told you. All of this stems from and eventually leads to the hatred of black women. And now I'm going to hit you with a fast forward several years in the future up into present time to see what the original Mexican man stroker has recently posted.
Tell the truth, something that black people need to admit. My girl Isha said, why does the world vilify Jada Pinkett and support Will? I'm going to break this down real quick and I'm going to tell you what I think. And I'm going to just be honest. And the black race won't be honest. Back in the early 90s and 2000s, black men was wilding and thugging and just wearing chains and sagging their pants and acting a fool so goddamn much that they were vilified by the media for doing what they were doing. And as a black man, I won't acting like that. I got so sick of these motherfuckers that when one of the cops shot these niggas or one of these niggas got their ass beat, I laughed and was happy. I despise a fucking nigga. Now, in the very same way, black women are doing the same thing now. They're vilifying themselves and the media is vilifying them. And we just fucking sick of black women. So when Megan Thee Stallion got shot in the foot, I laughed. I was happy than a motherfucker. So that's why the world is supporting Will and vilifying Jada. Because we fucking sick of black women at this point. It happened to me before. I got so goddamn sick of black men out here doing that shit. I ain't give a fuck when the cops shot their motherfucking head off. I got sick of them. I'm desensitized to them. Now at this point, let's be real. I love my sisters, but I'm fucking sick of a fucking black woman shaking her funky ass and all that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So let's just be real. It's just black woman's time. Black men went through it, but we have to join together because the whole point is to keep us down. Black men were vilified to the point where nobody didn't give a fuck if we got shot down in the streets. Now, black women are being vilified to the point where don't nobody give a fuck if a bitch get hit in the face with a goddamn brick. Now, nobody won't tell the truth. Black women, y'all sick of each other too, goddammit.
There's no way that you can actually think that black men have gotten their act together and black women are just the problem. See, but I told you all that all of this man-stroking men of other communities is actually just going to lead to more black woman bashing. See, I've said in several videos that the golden standard of manhood is the devoted husband and active father. I've said this, and we have plenty examples of this in the black community, but other black men look at these men as simps and squares and lames and all of this other foolishness, which is why you pedestalize women of other communities and look at how they treat you when you get over there. And for the men of other communities that you want to brag on, this is what they think of you. They turn you into memes, and they warn their daughters that once you go black, you a baby mama. That's what men of other communities think of you. And in fact, they think even worse than that. As you praise them, they rip you to shreds. But I can show you better than I can tell you. And I guess I'll just have to do a part 2 follow-up of this video to say everything else that I want to say on this topic.
You in danger, girl.
Why do you hoes act like if you ain't in no relationship, you gon' die? Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up. I am not the booty piece of the bread. I'm the whole loaf. He the breadcrumb.
If my Jewish mother saw me disparaging Jewish women, or any women for that matter, online for clout, she would end me. That'd be it. And look, plenty of you are going to say, hey, sit this one out. It's none of your business how black men talk to black women. You're right. I'm not tone policing this guy. But I am particularly disturbed by this video because black women, dark-skinned black women in particular, are probably the most patient people on this planet because they themselves are the victims of more violence and vitriol than any other group ever. So yeah, to hear that they're being labeled as innately violent by a black man might be especially hurtful. Again, I know this isn't my business, and I'm not going to tone police this man, but I do wonder what his black mother thinks about this shit.
Other races of men all over the world are starting to see and be disgusted at how black men treat their women. I've seen videos of Asian men, of white men, of Hispanic men, even of Arab men, calling out black men for how they treat and publicly disparage their women. And for what? You think bashing your own woman makes you look good? It only makes you look like a fucking clown. And all those other people that are liking and egging you on and commenting and praising you for doing that shit, one, they're either black men themselves that hate themselves like you do, or they're fucking racist. And they're sitting back enjoying seeing you destroy your own community. You all have become the laughingstock of the fucking planet. And then you have the nerve to go online and cry and whine and complain that black women don't respect you. You don't give them shit to respect. Not only are you bashing your women online all the time, y'all are unaliving black women every 4 to 5 hours. Y'all unaliving pregnant black women. Femicide is a thing because of y'all. Y'all created all these single black mothers and then have the fucking nerve to go online and bash the single mothers that you fucking created. To go on these fucking podcasts, these manosphere bullshit, and tell everyone not to date single mothers. Black women are not only the most patient women on the planet, they are the most caring and the most forgiving and the most loving. Because they have to be in order to deal with not only your dumbasses, but a lot of the hate they get from the rest of the world. And after 400 plus years of slavery, Jim Crow, and oppression, and all the horrible things that white men have done to black America and black women, for white men to come out and check you on how you treat your women, you know it has to be really, really bad. Y'all need to do better.
Now, true enough, all of this partnering will lead to black erasure, but you can't stay where you're not wanted.
Message.
I'm white, and I'm also sick and tired of seeing all this nonsensical, stereotypical backlash that black women get for doing the same things that every other race of women literally does. Like, black men like to gaslight black women and make them think somehow they're inferior to other races because they're doing things differently than other races of women when they actually aren't. Let me make one thing clear. Plenty of white women are baby mamas. Plenty of white and Spanish and Asian women, mainly white women, will definitely be up beside their man in jail. In fact, the biggest pick-meishes and the biggest ones who are dumb for their man and are the biggest ride or dies are white and Spanish women. And don't take offense because I'm white and Spanish. I'm German and Argentine. Most of the time, black women are actually smarter, less codependent, and more likely to leave a man. They're not as weak in the knees for a man as a lot of white and Spanish women are, who are willing to stay and literally never leave through anything. Which I feel is the main reason why black men try to bash black women, because, you know, other races of women are more willing to tolerate a lot of shit and be quote unquote submissive and a ride or die and never leave and do things that a black woman is too smart and too strong to do.